everybody, it's right. Hey, everybody, it's Ryan from the Rocky Mountain Cigar Show here, back for another live show here at the Smokin' Studios. We have a great show tonight. This is going to be a sponsor-driven show put on by Española Cigars over Anto Mahroukian. Is going to be on the show tonight. Guys, I am just so excited to be back. I missed last week. Now, I was able to spend Thursday night out at the mothership there at the Smokin' Cigars in Boynton Beach, just for one night. I was able to get down there and it was absolutely incredible. It was great to see everybody. If I did get an opportunity to see you, it's okay because I will see you next year, as it's going to be the greatest show ever for next year. So don't know what weird little mix up just happened there, but my controls kind of went weird on me. Either way, no worries. We have an absolutely fantastic show tonight. I'm looking very forward to it. And for all of those that are watching tonight, thank you so much. Please like, subscribe, follow, share this show. And everybody, I just got to tell you, it's been 4 years, little over 4 years now doing this show. I've got my 40th birthday episode coming up in, I think it's 3 weeks. I think it's April 10th. I've got Cigar Clowns coming on. All right. We're going to be doing a huge giveaway. I've got Dunbarton giveaways. I've got Micallef giveaways. I've got several other Big Sky giveaways, Kristoff giveaways, BAMF giveaway. It's going to be absolutely fantastic. And I'm going to be announcing the show every single week until that. Everybody, this is going to be the one to watch. Outside of my Christmas with Saka, this is going to be the biggest giveaway show that I do all year. I absolutely promise, and probably the biggest giveaway show I'll ever do. I've got so much over there, so you are not gonna want to miss the April 10th show with Cigar Clowns, myself, and it is just gonna be absolutely fantastic. So, without any other discussion from me, because nobody comes here to really watch me at all. And hey, listen, I don't blame you. I don't hold it against you. Everyone really only shows up for the guests. So without any further ado, Anto, I am so white, dude. I can't pronounce shit. Do you know how long it took me to practice your last name? Like Mahroukian. Like,
Oh,
honestly, I was like, oh, I'm saying the first name right, but I'm butchering the last. But here we go. I was butchering the first. So it's Anto.
that's correct.
Anto Mahroukian. Sorry, I've been saying Anto, and I pronounce everything like how it's spelled. It's very American of me.
A lot of people don't even try to say my last name, so A for
Well, how you been, brother? It's great to see you. Um,
effort.
and like, before you answer the how you been, because I really want to light this thing up, and I want to jump into the what are you smoking tonight segment, sponsored by Dunbarton Tobacco and Trust. Now, I am gonna let Anto explain what we are smoking tonight, as this is she's a beaut, Clark. She's a beaut. So go ahead and tell us what we're smoking tonight.
Awesome. Yes, we're smoking Española 1996 Corojo wrapper. This is a cigar that's going to be introduced at the PCA 25 in less than a month. Ecuadorian Corojo wrapper, San Andreas binder with a Dominican filler. Absolute. This is one of my favorite cigars we've released in recent years. And I'm just looking forward to hearing what you think, Ryan.
Yes, no, this is absolutely a fantastic. Can you still hear me?
I can.
Awesome. This is an absolutely fantastic cigar. You were kind enough to send over one for the last time you were on. I love it. I mean, This has been one of your highest rated cigars on the market. It got 90 what? It was 92, 94, somewhere in there?
Right in the middle, 93.
93. Okay. And what was that
Yeah.
magazine again?
Cigar and Spirits magazine.
Cigar and Spirits magazine. Now, obviously, being that that was like your first big release where it got that kind of rating. I mean, did you put it up on your refrigerator at home? I would have. I mean, that thing would have. Oh my gosh, my face! It zoomed in. My controls are going a little haywire here tonight. Right. So we'll do that. There we go. All right. So did you hang it up on the refrigerator? I mean, you had to be happier than pig and shit when you got that, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. We made bumper stickers, passed it out to everybody. Um, no, I'm kidding. Definitely an honor to receive those high ratings from Cigar and Spirits magazine, and also the Enthusiast Report also gave us a 93 rating. This cigar also received top honors as the #6 cigar of 2024 from Cigar and Spirits magazine, and #3 boutique cigar from the Enthusiast Report. So really, really excited about those high ratings. Absolutely told everybody about it, send out a press release letting people know. And all we've gotten is rave reviews from whoever has tried the product.
And it just totally makes sense. I mean, it really is a cigar that you could tell you've worked on. Thank you so much, Steve Saka, for sponsoring the "What Are You Smoking Tonight" segment as we get back into the show here. No, it really, really shows that you've stepped up your game, right? Because
Yes.
I think I think one of the, please correct me if I'm wrong, and I mean zero disrespect by this in any way. You are in the process of rebranding the company, not necessarily from JM, but rebranding it to more of Española Cigars versus JM Tobacco. Now, um, one of the things that you were very well known for in the early days was the JM Dominicans, the stuff that I think a lot of people would probably say isn't close to this caliber. So how how has that rebranding been to get people to go, hold on, wait a second. JM Tobacco. Is that the guy that does JM Dominican? Now he's selling a $12 cigar, oh, $13 cigar depending on your state, and it got a 93. How the fuck does that happen? Like, how do you change people's perception? And again, I mean zero disrespect. Just how do you change people's perception of that?
Yeah, slowly. I mean, honestly, it's we are known for JM's Dominican. Listen, JM's Dominican does amazing for us. It's our bread and butter cigar. We do wonderful with that product. And again, it smokes like a premium cigar. So we have the master blenders. We have the people who are capable of producing a fine cigar. It's just we've kind of been almost stereotyped in the way, or um, you know. Um, I guess typecasted like
Yeah,
as as a value priced cigar maker, and that's it. No, we've got professionals who are master blenders and who are excellent at their craft.
sure.
Um, and that being said, we work really hard on this product. Española also comes in a Connecticut and Maduro, so it's not our first rodeo as far as putting out a premium product. And the our Maduro has gotten a 93 rating from Cigar and Spirits magazine, and also the Enthusiast Report as well.
Hmm.
And our Connecticut is just a mild, creamy, smooth cigar that's for the novice smoker or the smoker who doesn't want a strong kind of full-bodied cigar. But so again, this isn't our first product that we've released that's a premium line. And I do want to say that when somebody is smoking the JM's Dominican and almost doesn't know the price tag associated with it, is very happy with the cigar. I consider it a premium cigar at a value price. I don't consider it as a budget cigar. So the guys are there, the master blenders are there, the people are in place to produce a fine product.
Absolutely, and it really even the JMs, they are very good cigars. Like you said, they're your bread and butter. But I think at this point in time, you're kind of doing what Hyundai did, right? You made the Genesis, right? And now you're spinning the Genesis. Now Hyundai's their bread and butter, but Genesis opens up a new category, a new tier, a new pedestal to climb and tower. And you're spinning Genesis off of JM to Española. So effectively, you're creating two brands under JM Tobacco. One is what I would consider ultra premium, and one would be premium. Would you say
Yeah,
that's a fair assessment?
absolutely. I would kind of compare us to like a Toyota and a Lexus, maybe not a Hyundai. So Toyota versus this
Well,
is
I
probably
only I only thought of that because I'm literally like Genesis just spun off of Hyundai a little
yeah,
bit ago. But yes, okay. I'm not I wasn't car brand had nothing to do with quality of the tobacco and by any means at all. Because if that's the case, then let's do let's do Porsche and BMW, right?
there you
That BMW or
go.
Porsche owns BMW. So, but anyways, so what are you pairing your drink with tonight? Either a huge glass of vodka or that sparkling water.
Sparkling water. I should have said vodka.
There was a heck of a glass if that was vodka. I was gonna go, cheers to you, boy. You
Oh,
drove
cheers.
there to work, but you ain't getting home by driving.
Yes, I definitely like to enjoy this cigar just for what it is, a nice cigar, and I want to taste all the nuances with the product. So
Good, good. Yeah, and I am pairing it with just a simple blended scotch. Name doesn't really need to be given out. Just a simple, cheap blended scotch.
nice.
Um,
Cheers.
what?
Said cheers.
Cheers. Yes, I actually find that cigars really pair best with what you're drinking. And what I mean by that is I've had cigars pair great with water, and I've had the same cigar pair great with coffee. I've had the same cigar pair great with scotch, with a bourbon, with any of that. And what's your approach on pairing and when somebody gives you something new or you bring out a new cigar to the market? What's your strategy with answering the pairing question, or even in your own home life for pairing?
Absolutely. I feel like a cigar can go with any type of beverage. So it's whatever you're in the mood for to drink at that moment, and just enjoy a cigar with that. It doesn't need to be paired like a steak and a wine is paired. It's not like you can, it's having white wine with a steak. No, whatever you want to have with your cigar. So whatever you want to enjoy at the moment. Like you said, I've enjoyed coffee with a cigar. That goes amazing. I've also enjoyed wine with cigars, and even my choice is a tequila, which I love drinking tequila on the rocks, and that goes really well with cigars. So anything you
Man,
want to.
man, tequila and me don't get along as much as I like tequila. Tequila just makes me feel too godlike, and I do dumb things. Uh,
That's hilarious.
so um, this is a perfect way I want to kind of start this part of the show off, because last time you were on, we kind of reintroduced Espanola. We talked a little bit about how the company started out of more of like an ode to your father as far as a birthday gift with a cigar, and it kind of spun from 1994 on. Now I want to kind of take into account here a little bit of your evolution from 94 to now. So obviously over the past 3 decades now, a little over 3 decades now, you guys have grown from your very first Espanola cigar to a wide range of offerings, and now a new line of Year of the Dragon, and it's been incredibly successful for you. How have you seen the company evolve, and what's been the biggest challenge during the evolution and being able to stay true to the roots of the company?
Yeah, it's a very good question. The challenge right now at this point is we got to step up our game. How much better, or where can we go from here is the next question. Um, Being that our Española Corojo has received high ratings, we're excited to put out new products coming up in 2026, which is going to be our 30-year anniversary for Española. So it's all about how do we step up our game, and the way we do that is more hands-on approach. We are trying to be more involved in the blending process, in the curing process, and the selection of tobaccos. Um, so that being said, I think we're on track right now for a fine product to be released next year as an Española Aniversario, and we're really excited about that.
So how important is it to you to stay true to the roots of the company, and kind of how do you see things needing to kind of progress through to where maybe you got to change things up a little bit? Maybe you bring a line and cut a line to add a line. Like, does that make sense? So, like, as you evolve, obviously things are going to have to change within the company and how stuff is done. How do you see that process working?
Yeah, so I think by staying true to our brand and company, we've always offered a value price product. We've always offered a quality cigar at a value price. Even this Española Corojo, like you said, is $13 depending on where you're at. And to be honest, I've smoked cigars up to $20, $25, even more, that don't compare to this.
That
So
are not as good as this. I would absolutely agree with you on that, sir.
So staying true to what we do is putting out quality product at affordable prices. That's what we're all about. So the challenge comes, in putting out a premium product. Something that's the tobacco's aged 7 to 10 years, and also after rolling, it's been resting for about a year. How do we go about asking that $20, $25 mark, which
Hmm.
is probably going to be where the Española Aniversario is going to be at. So, laying down the roots and the groundwork for our Española line, and the with our Connecticut and the Maduros, and then adding the Corojo, and then getting a bunch of feedback and positive responses like the Cigar and Spirits magazine and the Enthusiast report has given us. Is just piggybacking off of that, and putting our trust into our product and into our craft, and asking for those prices. Um, Even though that our motto here is to put out an affordable product, quality product at an affordable price. So
And it's not necessarily just about asking for those prices, right? Because you could put out any piece of junk and ask for those prices. It's about putting out the best value that you can get for that price. And pricing's a big deal of kind of rebranding a company, as far as some people, you take certain lines of things like, oh, I won't smoke that, it's not expensive enough, and you get some people like, oh, I don't smoke that, it's way too expensive. So it's always kind of the three bears practice, right? It's finding the just right. And I think you seem to have kind of stepped people up in the reality of spending more for Espanola over the last couple of years, with the release of the Connecticut, the Maduro, where you're like, okay, we're going to show you guys we can play in this area. So when the time comes and I go, hey, this is 20, they believe you. They don't just go, oh my gosh, I'm going from JM Dominicans to $20 a stick. Like, where's the in between? You gave us that feel. Does that make sense? Like, you've
100%.
kind of earned the right to be like, okay, I've shown you what we can do. I'm going to now show you ultra premium. 8K if we're going to put like television quality on it.
I love it. Yes, and that's exactly where we're at. We have access to those tobaccos. We have access to those blenders and the factories who do put out those kind of products. So I'm really excited to kind of about the future, and I really can't share too much about what we got going on. But we really are working with one of the top manufacturers in the industry, and in the future, we're going to probably be putting out some we not probably we are going to be putting out some quality cigars. That are just going to knock some socks off. I think that I'm really excited about that. And that all starts with Española and Rosario, and so really, really, really looking forward to 2026.
Can you give us any insight, a wrapper, a size, like just a little dip in the water? Not much. Don't give too much away, but like maybe like a size to look for.
Yeah. So what I can say is it's going to be a bold cigar. It's not going to be a mild to medium cigar. It's going to be more of a medium to full bodied cigar. The size we're still working on. We don't want to put too many sizes out, but it's going to be only one wrapper in the anniversario, and it might come in a special size shape, let's say.
Okay, like exclusive that you guys have never done before.
Something we've never done before.
Perfect. Awesome. Well, hey, that's great. And we're looking at what PCA of next year for that.
Yes.
Okay.
Right now we're on track for PCA. A product is in production right now, hoping for it to kind of be finalized by early summer and having it rest until next year.
Okay. So at PCA, is it going to go on sale nationwide right after, or are you looking at like a summer fall release?
No, I think what we're aiming for is a release at PCA, orders being taken at the show, and hoping to ship right after the show.
Nice.
Yeah,
That's
this is
nice.
well, it's something we started working on late 2024. So it's nothing really like new where we're still kind of trying to think of what we're going to be producing as far as wrapper goes. Just kind of maybe the sizes are kind of in question right now. I don't want to put out too many of those sizes. Probably maybe two or three,
Okay.
um, and one special kind of shape.
Sure, sure. So you're having much more fun with the ultra premium stuff. I feel like you're kind of like spread my wings and fly away. Like you love the core stuff. Okay, everybody loves the core stuff, but this is kind of giving you that creative tweak. I feel there's a little bit more
Well,
giddy up in your step.
I'm having fun. I don't know what to say. Like this is really good. I'm at a point where I've made a lot of relationships in the industry. I've got a lot of contacts, and I've also gained a lot of trust with people. So that's all kind of like paying off. I've been in the industry since 17 years old. Um, 30 years is a long time. So we've seen some people come and go, and we've made some really, really good connections in the industry. And I'm really thankful for the partnerships that we do have. And at this point, it's just about enjoying the fruits of our labor.
Sure, absolutely, and being able to be in a spot that you could play, right?
Yeah,
Because you could actually kind of hone your craft at this point, and I think you're having a lot of fun with that. I mean, it shows. The more fun you have, the better cigars you put out, right? If you're stressed over, gotta put out the greatest blend in the world versus just having fun with it and putting out quality stuff and just letting the market tell you if it's good or not, which is what you're doing.
yeah.
And it seems to be working out pretty well for you.
Thank you.
So
Yeah,
as obviously JM Dominicans are a lot of stores all over the country. Española cigars are maybe in a few less stores.
yeah.
How are you again with staying in that rebranding side of life for you? How are you making the introduction with Española and JM Dominicans in a shop that has JM Dominicans, but not Española. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Yeah. So we're kind of treating it as two different companies. We have dedicated sales reps who are selling strictly Españolas and dedicated sales rep who are moving JM's Dominican products. So we're really trying to keep it separate. And that I feel like that's kind of uh, been helpful just because of that association with cheap. We don't want that, or value. We don't want that with Española. We want just quality. We want premium. We want something that somebody's going to pay top-notch dollar for and also enjoy. So the approach we've taken with this is kind of treating it as its own entity, its own separate product, its own separate company, if you may. And you know, it's helping. You can see the difference.
Oh
It's not
yeah.
competing to the customer.
Yeah, and honestly, I think rebranding it Española, at least the ultra premium line, is very very smart because now you're not associating the two together.
Yeah.
Because JM Tobacco also did, and I didn't realize this, hookah. You guys did hookah back in like 2014, 2009 to 2014. Like, and from what I saw online, that actually was the bee's knees in the hookah world. I mean, that was considered ultra high premium flavored, like amazing reviews across the internet. I didn't even know you guys ever did it. You don't do it anymore, but
No.
like I think it's important that you separate, if that makes sense, that ultra line from that JM, um, obviously all under one umbrella. I hope I'm not trying to come across in any like negative way on JM Tobacco. I'm just saying I think the rebranding to an ultra line under its own label, like Toyota Lexus, is very smart.
Yeah, thank you. No, not at all, Ryan. And it's something that we've internally spoken about in many meetings, and it's something that we know what we're capable of, and we don't want to be just in that value price category. Um, like I said, we have access to the world's best tobaccos. We have access to the master blenders and farms that are growing these special tobaccos. So, it was all about how do we change people's perspective, and one of the ways was to kind of disassociate from JM Tobacco and create if not another company, but something similar to that, and treat it as such. So yeah, you're not hurting my feelings by saying all that.
Well, I just here on the show, I'm blunt, right? I just want to make sure that we're hitting. The last time you were on, I had several people reach out to me and go, "Oh, like, are you serious? They do ultra premium cigars?" Like, I'm not, absolutely not. And I'm like, you guys are. You're not. You're thinking about it completely wrong. Like, you're not giving them a chance. So I wanted to hit that nail on the head during this show because one, you don't shy away from the JM Dominicans. It's a for what
Not
it is, it's a great cigar. For those that like those styles of cigars, they sell like crazy. But at the same time, everybody needs to give you a fair shot when it comes to the ultra premium line, which is
yeah.
why I was so glad to see a 93 given to the Year of the Dragon. Because
Thank you.
I think the Year of the Dragon really showed, really kind of shows that you are on the up and up in the blending world. I mean, you put out something that was really good, really well thought out, blended well, very well balanced, great boldness to it, a great retro hail. Um, I don't go through flavor profiles because people always reach out to me, go, I didn't get that. And I'm like, it doesn't matter what you got. So, but I mean, it really has showcased that you are stepping out on the ledge and taking that leap forward into that. Was that kind of a hard internal discussion you guys had to have because there's a lot of people that play in this world, and you guys already had a very successful line, and you could risk a lot going this route. So was that was that a tough discussion internally, and who was for it, who was against it?
Yeah, so there's always a lot of chatter out there, uh, and people saying, oh, they're putting out premium cigars, like stay in your lane type thing, and you just got to block out all the noise and really trust what you're doing. And if you really trust what you're doing, put all your efforts into it, I think that you're going to end up with a good product. And listen, it's not just me here. A lot of credit is given to the farmers. A lot of credit is given to the rollers at the factory, the people who are curing the product. So it's definitely not me. We've had a lot of help, but with change, there are challenges. There are people that even here, like my father, I've had challenges with in the past, where he's saying, no, stick to JMs and just continue to grow that business. It does really well for us. I said, of course it does well for us. We wouldn't be here if it doesn't. We sell millions of cigars a year, a lot of
Yeah, a
JMs,
ton.
and if we were putting out a shitty product for a value price, maybe you try it once or twice, then you don't go back to it. So there is something to be said in moving that many products a year. People are liking it, meaning
Absolutely.
we're putting out a good product. So there is something to be said about sticking to what and what you're doing, and maybe grow that side of the business. But you can do both. You can definitely do both. And with our partnerships in the Dominican Republic, and the factories who are making these cigars for us, it has nothing to do with JM's Dominicans. They're two separate entities, basically. And so, um, you
Has
know,
has that been a frustrating thing to explain to people? I hear it kind of a little bit in your voice when you're like, they're two separate things. Like, and we'll move on past this. I just wanted to hit this first and foremost right in the beginning because, but it does sound like it's been a little bit of a frustration that you're kind of like battling that.
it's a frustration, because we didn't start 2 years ago. This
No,
is
you didn't. You've been around for a very long time.
Yeah, it's not something that we're new to, and we don't know what we're talking about. So that part of it is a little frustrating. But to be honest, like I said, you really got to block out the noise. Like if you start, reading the comments and listening to a lot of people who think they know what they're talking about, it just becomes frustrating, and you lose sight of what's important, and you lose sight of what you're doing. So again, trusting the process, working with great partners, and putting out a decent, I mean, not a decent product, putting out a wonderful product is what it's all about. And at this point, for me to be on this show now, my second time, and I really appreciate you. Congratulations on your 4 years.
I
Um,
appreciate your partnership.
Thank you. And it's just getting our name out there, and that's what it's all about at this point. As many times as I come on your show and talk about the product, more people are going to be able to see it, and I'm hoping more people are able to try it, because once you do try it and you get over that stigma of, hey, this is made by JM Tobacco, you get over it quick. And I challenge people to take off the band and smoke one of our JMs, and not consider it a premium cigar. I had some people who had tried it for the first time, and they said, "Hey, where can I find these?" And I said, "Okay, you can go online. This guy sells it. That guy sells it." And they're like, "Oh my God, I was going to give this as a gift, but it's really cheap, $200 a box of 50. That's $4 a cigar. I don't want to give this as a gift anymore." And I was like, taken aback here. And I was like, "Okay, I can charge you $10 a cigar,
Yeah, right. I'll take more, you know. No,
but
you're going through the same growing pains that, and not to bring up another brand, but that Drew Estate went through when they brought on Saka, when they had all their flavored stuff. A lot of people are like, I'm never going to buy an uninfused cigar from Drew Estate, blah, blah, blah. So it's been shown it can be done. You're proving that Española Cigars is doing it and is showing that the brand is much, much more much more depth to it. So, how has this ride been? Enough about JM Dominicans. How has this ride been with Española? How has how has the last couple of years since or last several years since the official launch of Española, how has this been on the market and accepted and going into PCA? What are you hoping for at PCA?
Yeah, so I will say, right off the bat, it's been challenging. 100%, it's been challenging. With the retail stores that carry JM's Dominicans, we started off with those guys, and then asked them for their support and carrying the product. Some of them did, some of them didn't, some of them tried it, and I think that the biggest part of all this is, having the customer really try the product, because when you walk into a store, you kind of go to what you want and what you like, and it's hard to. So we've been doing more events at the retail level.
Good.
uh, Having people come in and try the product has been great. The feedback has been wonderful. A little slow, so we're used to selling a lot. So uh, we almost thought that putting out Españolas would probably have the same success as JMs, but that definitely wasn't the case. It was slow, and it definitely took some time to kind of revamp the product. We went through some packaging changes, but with the release of our limited edition Year of the Dragon last year, it really got on people's radars, and they said, "Okay, wow, this is a great cigar. What else do they have?" And I'm really happy we did that last year. People were asking if we were going to do Year of the Snake this year, but it was more about staying true and focused on our current core line and adding the Year of the Dragon as our new Española Corojo line.
Okay, so we are able to talk about that. Okay,
Yeah.
I wasn't trying. I was trying to hint that if you were going to bring that up naturally, and I was really hoping that we were going to steer that. Okay, so talk about that, right? Because that's something that you don't see a lot of companies do is take a limited run and bring it into their core line.
Yeah.
Um, but the success you had with it, you'd be dumb not to at this. I mean, it's sometimes a limited is too good to be limited, right? And this was one of them. Were you obviously you internally probably weren't surprised by it, but were you surprised of the success of the Year of the Dragon that it was supposed to be a one and done and now you're bringing it in a core?
Um, yes and no. Uh, uh, Surprised at the high rating. Surprised at the number six cigar of the year, 2024. We're talking about the cigars of the world. We're talking about competing with, uh,
Thousands.
you know, uh, Aganorsa, which I respect highly. We're talking about Rocky Patel. We're talking about other premium lines that have been around forever. And to be recognized as a top 10 at number six, it was really a humbling experience. So, yes, in that sense, I was surprised. But during the whole blending process and the sampling of the products, we really were confident that we're putting out a good cigar. We're doing something right. And my family smokes cigars. My brother-in-law and I, often get together and smoke cigars. And he's an Oliva guy. He loves his Olivas. And I wanted to kind of get something similar to that kind of level of cigar. And to be honest, now he's smoking the Corojos, and that just warms my heart. It's really, really a, a great
Hopefully
feeling.
he's paying for them.
That's for sure. But it's my pleasure. My pleasure. Um, so yes and no to answer your question. We're not surprised because we were confident that we're putting out a quality product, but surprised at how well it's been received.
Well, this was definitely one where the audience spoke on it. And I have a feeling that if you would have taken it away, you probably would have had some angry customers. I mean, did you get anybody that was like, dude, like, we need this full time from you? Like, were you getting that level of feedback, or were you going on more off internal sales?
Yeah, so towards October, we ran out of our Year of the Dragon. It was a 500 box release. And they were like, where can we get our hands on these? Where can we get our hands on these? And I told them, I said, just be patient. This product is going to be released at PCA under a new, I guess you want to call it new packaging, a release under our core line of Española cigars, branded as Española 1996, which is the first year we released our Española Connecticut line. So the anticipation has been great. And yeah, my customers are really happy that it's not going away, and I'm really happy about it too, because it's my go-to cigar at this point.
Well, yeah, I mean, why would it be, right? I mean, it's kind of it's your flagship at this point for Espanola. Like it's the cigar that you would probably give anybody as their first Espanola, unless they specifically said I'm a mild only smoker. But
Right.
even at that point, your Connecticut's mild, creamy, really, really good. Um, yes, Chris, absolutely, dude. You need to go and revisit them. You can go right to their website, get a store locator, find one close to you. But yes, you could absolutely do. You need to revisit them. The year of the dragon's absolutely, absolutely fantastic.
Yes, thank you.
Um,
And if your local retailer does not have it, tell them to carry it, please.
yes, yes. I tell you what, if you reach out to me, Chris, I can put you in contact with Antu, your local retailer, and we can make that connection. I don't think like Anto. I don't. What now? It's just stuck in my fucking head.
We'll
Anto,
take it.
reach out. Yeah,
Don't worry
as long
about it.
as the sale happens, he doesn't care if I call him. No, reach out. So if you can't get a hold of him, we definitely can point you to Anto's direction.
Much.
So that will be easy, Chris. Don't worry about that. So talk here about the your kind of marketing side of it. Obviously, the cigar market's incredibly crowded with, both boutiques and legacies. You mentioned a few of them. How is how are you trying to carve Española's spot out? Are you one store at a time, one state at a time, one region? Like what's your step up process to go nationwide?
Yeah, that's a great question. First of all, it's the local market we're always trying to take care of. It's the
Sure.
people around us because, we do events around this area a lot, Los Angeles, and people are always asking us about the cigars. Like, can I stop by and pick it up from you? And I say, we don't do that. Please go to your local retailer, and we support our local retailer, and they can go pick up their cigars from them. So doing events at these local retailers has been helpful. Even distributors who are carrying our product locally, we're doing events at their location. So, and they're helping us, move the product around at retailers locally. So I think we start locally and we start going out. That being said, we do have several accounts out of state. Uh, One of our major accounts we do have. That's doing really well in North Carolina. They do really well with our product, and just like I said earlier, we're just trying to do more of these interviews, more of these marketing pushes to get people to try the product. So last year at PCA, the Year of the Dragon was introduced, and it was picked up by a lot of retailers. And after they picked up the Year of the Dragon, they were asking for our Maduro line and then our Connecticut line as well. So um, I
That's
think
gonna
by
make you feel great,
it
dude.
really
Like
does. It does. I can sell one box of Española and it makes me happy versus like cases and cases of JM's Dominican. Uh,
it's honestly like, so it's what I told you. I I feel like this ultra premium line has revitalized your soul in the cigar industry.
oh
Like
yeah.
when you and I talk on the phone, and you could hear the smile in your voice when you talk about Espanola. I feel like it was kind of becoming a little mundane for you, kind of jaded, like a lot of people get in the industry. and then Española came out. Year of the Dragon came out. Now you're like, oh my gosh, it's like a kid in a candy store. My writer's block is gone. I'm just creating. Does that make sense?
It does, because you're absolutely right. It was hard for us to do events with JM's Dominicans. It's hard for us to sponsor steak dinners with JM's Dominicans. It's hard for us to sponsor golf tournaments with JM's Dominicans. People want value. People want a quality product. And then, there's this perception of receiving a value price cigar, and yeah, even though it's good, the dollar tag isn't behind it. So there was that. So I've been out there more. I've been talking to customers more. With our JM's Dominican, it was like, okay, get it to the local distributor, have them move it. Get it to the out-of-state distributor, have them move it. This has been just the opposite. This has been
Oh
going.
yeah.
This has been like, we've got a ground team. We're hitting retailers first. This stuff is not really offered to many distributors besides locally. So it's almost like, meeting the store owner, the person who's there at work from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. or whatever it is, working hard, and just trying to support them. And going to these retailers and meeting them face to face, talking to them, you really tend to really understand what it's all about. And what it's all about for me is building relationships in this business.
Yep.
And with the JM's Dominican, it just wasn't quite there. It almost ended up being a mass marketed product that didn't have a personal touch to it.
It's a different customer base.
It really is. It's that guy who's walking his dog 2-3 times a day, and has a yard cigar, something he's smoking in his backyard.
It's the at-home cigar. It's
the
not the lounge cigar.
It's not the celebrated product.
Correct.
And we wanted to have a celebrated product. So by putting this out, we're doing more of those events where we're meeting these people. We're getting the feedback. I've never asked for somebody for feedback for somebody who's smoking a JM's Dominican. I've never handed them a JM's Dominican and been super proud of it. This has been a whole new level. This has been something where it's like, please go smoke this and please let me know what you think. You're really going to enjoy it. Or, hey, let's light one up together and talk about it. And we've got some valued feedback. This isn't the best cigar in the world. We're still learning. We're still getting, like I said, valuable feedback to put into the next batch that comes out. Always improving, always learning. And that's what it's all about. I've been way too comfortable with the sales of JM's Dominican, and it's really nice to kind of get out of my shell and go see people and talk to them.
You're challenged.
It really is a challenge.
You're challenged now,
and I'm having fun with that challenge.
Yeah, you're the kid that's in third grade that should be in high school, and you skip forward to high school, and now you're being challenged in science and math. No, I mean that's the reality of it, though. Like you wanted more out of it, and as you're a perfect person to ask this question to, and this is a question I love as a salesperson for 25 years. Boy, that selling style had to be completely set up different, right? Like, it's got to be much more expensive for you guys as a company to even sell Española versus JM. JM is kind of, and one of those, like you had just mentioned, like you had mentioned, it's kind of on autopilot in the sense that the distributors take care of it all and you just give it to them. And so explain to people what that was like for you learning and kind of growing a sales team at the lounge level, because that was new.
Very new. Yeah. For years, lounges and premium smoke shops were like, no, we're good. All we sell are premium cigars, and we kind of take offense to that. And so we really wanted to cater to them and, put out a product that they're proud of, we're proud of, they're happy with, their customers are happy with. So yeah, it was a different approach. and much more legwork, much more one-on-ones, going to see customers.
Well,
Like I said,
how did you go about starting that sales team? Because that was new for you to build a lounge level team. So what was your first steps, and how did you start that process of looking for people? Did you look internal? Did you steal people for, I say steal, did you take people from other companies? Like what was your approach to that?
yeah, so we have an internal team of two guys that really handle the state of California really well. So we started locally with them, although they're kind of known for more of the JM's Dominican line, and then we were forced kind of to hire outside. That being said, we've had some interest from some influencers on social media who really push the product, and we've been working with some of them. And that's been a success. But to be honest, it's more of me. It's more of like
Okay, so you're getting out there more.
I'm getting out there. Yeah, it's less of like trying to find somebody who is doing great at a another brand and kind of poaching them from them. But no, it was more of like, let me take this challenge on.
So
We're fortunate.
that's completely new for you then. Like you're talking maybe what 20% of your year was travel to 70% of your year being like I mean you're that's a big big change for you.
Yeah. So Ryan, honestly, I've been way too comfortable. Way. No, my son is 15 years old right now. My daughter is 12. So I've really enjoyed raising my kids. That being said, like I wasn't traveling that much, to be completely honest. It was, 4 or 5 trips to the factory a year, 2 trade shows, and a handful of visiting customers. I really wasn't going out. So to be going out, you know, a couple of weeks every 2 months is a big difference for me. It's definite lifestyle change, and plus my kids are grown enough. They're at an age where I can leave 4 or 5 days out of a time every month. And I wasn't doing that, and I started doing that, and it's nice. It's nice to be out there. It's nice to see what everybody's doing and how different kind of approaches each retailer has. Um, so yeah, from not really seeing many retailers to seeing retailers a couple times a month, it's a big difference, and it's a big change for me too.
Yeah, yeah. You start to build that road body, which if you don't keep up with it in the hotel gyms, starts to become a little different.
Oh yeah.
Uh,
Sometimes you forget to eat, and then you're binging at the end of the night. So
Taco Bell, McDonald's, Burger.
sometimes you get to the hotel room, nothing is open, except so.
Or the vending machine,
Or
right?
you go to the-
And if the vending machine's broke, I guess you're eating ice.
Yes,
Uh,
yes. We've been fortunate. We've been taking customers out, so we've had some very nice dinners with them. Uh, we've I've been doing a lot, and it's almost like one of those things where I really want to sell the product. I don't want to leave it up to the sales rep. I want to tell the story. I want to tell my story, and it's received a lot better that way as well. So, um,
you're
you
also
know,
respected a lot more in the industry
yeah, I'm a
when
lot older.
you're there.
Yes, that's right. They see me at the retail store, and then they come to the trade shows and they see me again. That carries some weight.
It also carries a lot of weight when you eventually go, I'm at a point in time where I want to start actually hiring a nationwide team because I want to kind of step. And then you can go to your staff and go, listen, I've been where you are.
Yeah.
I've been where you are. I've literally I didn't hire a sales team nationwide for the first couple of years because I wanted to experience this to understand what you guys are going through. So kudos to you for even taking that approach because there's a lot of people that would have been like, yeah, I'm not doing that. I'm just going to hire distributors or retailers to just do all that for me. And so I, that's. That's probably been a lot of fun for you though. Like, I mean, you had mentioned meeting people, getting out. So how many states have you been to in the last 12 months?
So I would say about 7 different states in the last 12 months. Definitely the close states are easy to go to. Nevada, Arizona for us. I've been there many times. We've got a lot of friends in Arizona who carry the product, um, and also in Nevada. Um, so yeah, I mean, look, it's not all bells and whistles, you know. Of course, you get to sit with a customer, you treat them, a retailer, and then they end up saying, "Nah, it's not for me." So there's that part of it as well. So it's definitely with each time we go out, you are learning, you are kind of understanding their mentality, and you pick up on that and you grow. You know, like I said, from not traveling to traveling in the past 2 years, I've learned a lot. I really have learned a lot, and
So what has been kind of the biggest eye-opening experience between having distributors take care of it all and then you hitting the road? And what I mean by that is you hear everybody go, "Oh man, it's got to be so great to sell cigars. You just partying, you're drinking all day, you're smoking all day." But the reality of it is, nobody sees the 10 hours of work that happen before or after the show. So, kind of what has that experience been like for you? Because that's been a big change.
yeah, you know, it. We definitely have those moments where you're like, just very frustrated with the whole situation, and you're saying, well, "Why did I even come out here?" You know, but if you don't go and if you don't see them, then you're batting zero. And So it's been challenging. I will say it's been challenging, but also very rewarding. Very rewarding when you do get those people who are very interested in the product, and they see the passion, uh, they see the history, they see where this is a father and son business where it's there's a lot of um, a lot of our heart goes into this product, and a lot of my dad's vision goes into this product. So when they hear our story and understand our vision for the future, it's well received, and that part of it is rewarding. And when it's not received, that's when it's a little frustrating.
Now, one of the things that I know is a big change for you guys is with JM, and this is not bringing up JM Dominican again, it's just using it as an example. With JM Dominicans, you could almost kind of count to the within a box or two what you're going to sell each month, each distributor. It's easy for you guys at this point with JM Dominican to be able to set inventory standards and inventory quantities. Getting into the premium side of life, especially with Year of the Dragon being as popular as it has, how has that how have you had to learn a different ordering process because it doesn't sell as quick or it sells quicker than you expected and you're like, holy shit, I'm back ordered now. So how has that been different for you or adapting for you with it kind of being more like this in the premium world versus, does that make sense?
Oh, it makes total sense, and that's a very, very good question. The way we look at it is, production wise, we have a set number of production numbers a month, and the way we feel about it is that if we don't sell many that month, then the cigars are sitting and aging, and they're just becoming better for the next month.
There's no
So
panic.
there really isn't panic, and at this point we're blessed to be able that to be selling as many JMs Dominicans as possible. That allows us that luxury to be able to put extra money into Española and have like stock basically. So yeah, we've never had a back order issue with Españolas.
That's
That
great.
that's never an issue for us, just because we've put our trust in the product and we've kind of ordered more than anticipated.
Well, that's good. You're staying ahead of it.
Yeah.
It's I guess it's just it's finding that comfortable overstock where you're not like too over, and finding that comfortable medium. Um, so as far as like strategy for the US? Obviously, you're already coast to coast, right? You literally are on one coast and another coast. You're North
Yeah,
Carolina and California.
yeah.
Eventually, everything in between, at some point in time, will have Española cigars. Is
Hopefully.
there any horizon where you see yourself in the international market? Because, and I only ask that question because with Habanos de Cuba I think that's what it is, raising their prices astronomically. The New World or the U.S. cigar market's actually really taking a big foothold in a lot of European markets. Is that is that a potential where you guys see yourself sooner than later or later than sooner?
Very soon. Very soon.
Okay.
We're doing Intertabac this year with Española Cigars, and we're also doing the World Cigar Show in Dubai. So we're really
Holy
anticipating a lot.
shit.
Yes. PCA is putting out a trade show this year, end of the year in Dubai, and we're a part of it. We've already signed up. We've already got our booth. Uh, we have been hit up by several international markets for Española. Um, we're super excited about the international market. It's something where, like you said, they're hungry for quality cigars and not at the $50 to $100 range.
Well, no, because when you have a cigar that's 50 and then the next year for the same frickin' cigar, you charge 75 to 100, how are you justifying value in that? Like sorry, don't get me kicked on that Cuban thing, the way they do their it's just it's asinine. It's absolutely asinine. I can't believe the US market isn't bigger in cigars before now over there. Anyways, please continue. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so no, we're really excited about the international market. I That is one thing that we're going to be working on this summer, and we'll be doing Intertabac in September and the World Cigar Show in Dubai in November.
Now you
So
know what's really big over there is Lanceros, so you're gonna need one. I know a guy that will absolutely be on your test pilot if you ever needed help. He's a good friend of mine. I think you might know him too. But I know Lanceros do very well in Germany. Are we gonna see like a European, a special European release size wise?
So I will say that that is one of the sizes that we are considering for our anniversario. Uh,
Yes.
Lanceros are
Yes.
huge. Lanceros are one of my favorite sizes to smoke. Um, we're really looking forward to putting out a Lancero in 2026 at PCA, and also eventually putting it out into the international market.
Yeah, because I've always been told, and I say that tongue in cheek, but I've always been told that thinner ring gauges do very well in Europe
Yeah.
and internationally.
Yes, absolutely. Although much more difficult, you need a skilled cigar
Yes,
to be able to make those. But
yes,
absolutely right. If made correctly, they're wonderful cigars to smoke.
and that's why I tell people they're like, oh, but they're like $1 more expensive a stick, and I go, yeah, but with they're rolled right, I'm sorry, man. That dollar extra is worth five because when they're rolled right, they're blended right. I'm the guy that I probably have 5 or 6 boxes of Lanceros.
Oh,
I'm the
amazing!
guy that actually buys them. I was a cigarette smoker for like 20 years, so maybe that's why I'm drawn to the smaller ring gauges. Plus, they have a tendency to be a little bit more oomph behind them. But I am a huge fan of everything Lanceros,
As am I.
and so I'm looking very forward to that size and release, and definitely having you back on for that one because I'm going to be
You got it.
yeah,
You'll
that's
be
going to be really good.
you'll be one of the first to try right away.
So as obviously customer loyalty is really big in this industry, and in fact customer loyalty is the most expensive thing you'll ever pay for as a brand owner in this industry. How is JM keeping how I say JM, how is Espanola keeping up with that customer loyalty, and how are you guys always guaranteeing the best cigar? What is some of your go through your quality control for it?
For sure. So with our quality control, it all starts with the curing of a tobacco. Temperatures always make a big difference, and once you start with quality tobacco, um, uh, you know, keeping the cigars at a consistent level as far as temperature is also very important for us, and humidity, of course. And then retaining the people who are rolling your cigars. You
That's
keeping
big.
it is big, and keeping the relationships with the factories who are making it for you, and not having uh, too much like change, and having different suppliers really make a difference. So I think for us, consistency and quality really is important, but it we leave it kind of to the manufacturers and the suppliers we're working with. Um, so
Do you
and
have
we've been,
demands like draw testing every cigar, specifics around rolling, and like what are some of your specs you put on the manufacturer?
for sure, there's the touch specs that a manager or somebody who's overlooking the rollers goes through to find dead spots with cigars, and all of those are put aside. We all of our boxes, when you open it, you know uh, you have different shades of Corojo, for example. We try to separate like shade
So
cigar
color.
colors, yes, by color for sure. So we
That's
separate.
harder than people think.
It is.
Tobacco
It's
leaves aren't the same color of brown.
Yes. So draw testing, checking for dead spots, and managing the wrapper color, and also making sure that the tobaccos are consistent. They're from the same supplier always. So we try to secure tobacco, big quantities of tobacco at at a consistent basis. So it's really hard to kind of answer your question in that sense, but there's so many different quality checks that the cigars go through. After they're rolled, they're maintained at a certain level. Before they're rolled, the tobacco has to be cured properly. And then, like I said, the rollers of the cigars, who really know what they're doing, also really we need to maintain those guys, and not turn them around.
Well, and I've been told by a lot of manufacturers that the most poached job at the manufacturer level is the rollers
It is, yeah, and
to other manufacturers and so on and so forth. So it's very important that when you do have your au pairs, that you're taking care of them and you keep them on. Now, one of the things that you have brought up here is manufacturers, and you don't have direct control over that, so you're not fully vertically integrated. For those of you that don't understand what I mean by vertically integrated, is they don't Espanola doesn't have their own field, doesn't own their own manufacturer. They rely on a manufacturer. Do you ever see Espanola cigars as buying into a manufacturer or ever having a vertical integration? Is that ever something on the horizon?
this is what we started with. We did have that. We started with that.
Coming
And
back to it though,
coming back to it, whew, yeah, that's so we were in that game, and that game is just a different ball game.
it's a brutal ball game.
It really is. And uh, I will say the JM's Dominicans are made at a dedicated factory who only make JM's Dominicans. So, and that's just because of the turnaround and the quantity of cigars that factory puts out. So I am familiar with that process. So, visiting them, visiting the factory is a big deal, because they know you're coming, and they know you're checking up on their the checklists that they go through, and the quality control processes that they have in place, and making sure that all of those processes are happening. That does happen. We do that with our JM's Dominican line. Same with the visiting the factories that make our Española line.
Do you ever see yourself now? There's benefits there's advantages and disadvantages to not having your own factory. One of the disadvantages is maybe not always being able to get that tobacco. One of the
That's right.
advantages is you're not tied down to a specific tobacco at a specific factory. So it almost sounds like you wouldn't want to go back there, that you like the fact that you can go to this manufacturer for this style of cigar, that manufacturer for that style of cigar. It's more important to you, it sounds like, that you pick the right manufacturer than trying to become vertically integrated again. So go through, what is your selection process in a manufacturer?
So one of the great partnerships that we've had with one of our manufacturers, and it's no secret, we work with Blackbird Cigar. We love
Mm-hmm.
them, and Blackbird Cigar, the master roller there, his name is Papo. He is the man who introduced Española to the market. He is the guy who master blended Española in 1994, 95. So we really select these manufacturers based on, of course, relationships we have with them, but also knowing who is behind the cigar. And we know that the person behind the cigar, especially for our Española, is Papo, and we love Papo. And I've worked with Papo since I was 17 years old. So that's the comfort level that I have in selecting a manufacturer.
Long-term relationship.
Really long-term relationship. He's almost family at this point. So I'm really, really happy working with him. And another advantage that we kind of have is, I don't know if you know, but my father, he produces tobacco out in Mexico, in San Andres. So getting a quality product delivered to the factories and specifying that we want to work with this tobacco and securing the tobacco from seed to cigar is really helping, especially in our San Andreas Maduro. We use a San Andreas Maduro binder for this cigar, but in our Española Maduro, it's the wrapper. So knowing that we're getting quality cigars, knowing that we're getting quality tobacco, and knowing that we're getting a quality master blender, I mean, I think, I feel very safe with him. I feel very safe with the tobacco. So that is one of the processes of selecting manufacturer. We don't work with too many manufacturers. We are going to be working with a new manufacturer, but this is a manufacturer who is well known in the industry, puts out great product, and this is something that we're going to be working on probably towards the end of the year to put out I will say it. We're going to be putting out an Española Nicaragua line. So Española.
Yes. Yes. We're gonna get the just the bird your sinuses volcanic soil tobacco from
Absolutely.
Española line.
Yes, it's going to be called Española Nicaragua.
See, guys, this is why you watch, because if you ask enough questions the right way, you'll get the answers you want without directly asking. So this is what we got. So that's huge, right? Like, congratulations. Like, that's big. That
It
is
is.
a completely new country for you guys.
It is.
That is virgin territory in the Nicaraguan world. He's got his glass of vodka he just took a drink of. So like that's congratulations. That's huge.
Yes. Yes, and we're working with a manufacturer who doesn't work with too many people. I've been friends with this guy for a very long time. I don't want to say too much because we're still in the process of kind of fine tuning all the details of how the partnership is going to work. But I am happy to say that we are adding a Nicaraguan line to the Española Cigars.
Fantastic. And that's going to be big, I think, because that really is going to help complete the boldness level of the line.
I agree.
Um, there is a certain connotation when you hear a Nicaraguan. Now, is it a Nicaraguan puro, or are you allowed to give that away, or is it going to be Nicaraguan tobacco?
So it's be made at the Nicaraguan factory. We're debating on whether we're going to use a puro wrapper, meaning a Nicaraguan wrapper,
Yep.
or something else. So that is still kind of questionable. A puro would be nice. It would really be nice. But yeah, still working on it. I'm in the process of like smoking samples I've received, and we're going to be making the decision on that very soon.
Well, yeah, it's just going to help complete and round out your line because there's a lot of people that won't smoke Dominican, that are Nicaraguan, that have a perception of Dominican is, and it's not necessarily a perception. I think it's a reality for the most part. But Dominicans have a tendency to be a little on the medium to milder side in the spec range of like pepperness side of or body level.
Yes,
Having that Nicaraguan tobacco from either, and I'm not asking you for regions, but either Esteli Jalapa, is going to be huge. That's going to give you that really bold contrast to the rest of the line.
I'm really excited.
Was that a tough decision to go to Nicaragua out of Dominican? Because that is new territory country
It's
wise.
absolutely new territory. We're not very familiar with it. I've never been to Nicaragua, so it's. I don't think it's scary. I don't think it's any. I don't think it's worrisome. I think it's more exciting. I think it's.
Sure.
I think it's something that we always do this. We listen to our customers. We listen to our retailers, and we have an idea of what the industry kind of wants, and this is what the industry wants. So why not provide it for them?
No, I agree, and I think it's going to do really well. I think Nicaragua is probably one of the best countries to get that heavy, bold tobacco from. In my opinion, I'll just say, in my opinion, it's my favorite country for. I'm a big retro hailer, so if I like a good bloody nose at the end of a cigar. And so I am super excited. We talked about this a little bit ago. I wasn't going to bring it up because obviously we talked about that. So I'm really happy you did. And that's just awesome. I'm looking very forward to that. And that's going to be at PCA next year.
I hope so. Yes. So Anniversario next year at PCA for sure. I'm not sure if this will be released at PCA or maybe towards the end of the year at one of the international events like Intertabac
Sure.
or World Cigar Show. So
But
it's
2026 is the roster for it.
that's correct.
Okay. So that's great. So here we go. We've got two major releases for you guys next year. You're really
Yes.
hitting the ground running, my friend,
Yeah.
and you're doing a great job. You're not wasting time, and
No.
that's
Yeah.
incredible. I mean, you're taking this, you're making it a core line now. We've talked about that just from the success alone of it. You're obviously not going to be Year of the Dragon anymore. It's going to be what?
Española.
Corojo. And then moving forward, we're gonna get the Anniversario next year as well as the Nicaragua release. So you've got a lot of great things on the horizon here.
Yeah.
What I want to do is talk a little bit more about kind of your past a little bit. All right, your one of the things I love talking about on this show is just people's history, right? So when you think back to your childhood, what's one of your earliest memories you have of as a child, and how does it connect to who you are today?
Great question. Uh, you know, s- Probably one of the earliest memories I have is my dad working all the time, gone in the morning, showing up 7, 8 at night, and just the dedication of hard work and how much he's put into his craft. He's a jeweler his whole life. My dad was in the jewelry business, so I think hard work has been a cornerstone of my childhood and my being raised, working hard and kind of enjoying the benefits of your labor. My dad is a first generation immigrant. He came here from Lebanon, being Armenian
Hmm.
background, and that hard work has been kind of just instilled in us from the day we were born. It's the immigrant mentality, I call it. Everything that we have, we've earned. Nothing has really been given. And I'm proud of that. I'm proud of I'm really thankful. My father raised me that way. Everything um, that he's enjoyed in his life, he's been through a lot. Um, he's worked hard at it, and so, I just want to kind of make him proud, and continue his legacy of a hardworking man, and you know, and also instilling that kind of hard work mentality to my kids. So, yeah, when you ask me about earliest childhood memory, I just remember, my dad kind of not being around, good or bad, and that kind of shaped me in a way where I didn't want to be that way, meaning I didn't want to be not around, and that's the reason why I was not on the road a lot, raising my kids. I'm really happy about that. It's one of my proudest kind of accomplishments as a father,
Sure.
um, being there for my kids, because you're never going to get those years back.
Mm-mm.
Uh, and so, you know, kind of seeing my dad working hard, I understood that there is that, meaning you do have to work hard at everything that you do and everything that you are trying to do. Um, so yeah, I think, that being said, I think that's probably what I remember most, is my dad just working hard.
Now that your kids are old enough, you're like, see ya, bye bye.
No, no.
Just as you become a teenager, I'm gone 70% of the year. As my kid's gonna start driving, bye bye.
No more
now,
soccer practice. I'm
now
out.
we understand the big glass of vodka. Um,
It's water.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. So obviously, with your family being Armenian heritage and ties to the Dominican, how has your cultural influences? What cultural influences played into your childhood?
Uh, you know, uh,
Let me ask it a different way.
yeah.
What's one of your favorite family traditions you maintain today that is Armenian?
Sunday barbecues. We almost never miss a Sunday getting together with family. I think they brought that back from Lebanon. Lebanon was one of those countries where we weren't able to get, uh, quality meat. And once a week, you did get some quality meat that you put on skewers and you barbecued over charcoal. That's what we do, and we continue to do that. Some weekends, of course, are tougher than others, but we try to get together with the family at least once a week, light the fire, sit around, barbecue. And when I say barbecue, it's not a smoke pit or anything like
Sure,
that.
sure, sure.
It's meat on skewers, um, and enjoying a few drinks with some cigars.
So is
But
this like you didn't show up for Sunday? What the hell is wrong with you? Is
it's
it
very,
is it like that ritualistic? We're like you better have a good excuse to play tardy for Sunday.
yes, Sundays, that's for sure. Yeah, we try not to miss it, and um, it's also a way to see family. I mean, life gets so hectic nowadays that you really don't see each other. And my kids are fortunate enough to have all four grandparents around, and
Aunts and uncles.
aunts and uncles, 100%. And both my father and my father-in-law smoke cigars. My brother-in-law and I smoke cigars. So it's a gathering of smoke with the barbecue, the fire, and cigars. So it's really exciting.
What's a sibling rivalry look like in your family? In the Mahroukian family? It's crazy I was able to say your last name
You
right
said it
before your first name.
I
But
think
what does the sibling rivalry look like in the Mahroukian family?
so between my kids,
Your kids, your
well,
brothers and
me and
sisters,
my
any of
sister.
them.
So I have a sister, a younger sister. She helps out with my father's jewelry company. Um, and growing up, we played basketball. So sibling rivalry for us was competitive basketball. I would spot her 9 points, and it would be up to 10, and I would beat her every time, 10-9. So she would get super frustrated, and um, yeah, my son and daughter, they have a different relationship. They have a very loving relationship, which is kind of odd. Me and my sister were always at each other's like throats, and all very very competitive with one another. Um, you know, my son, my daughter, they're just like, uh, they crave to hang out with family. So I love that, and we try to do family dinners a couple times a week. Life gets hectic with their practice schedules, and our schedules, me and my wife's. But we try to sit down and have family dinners often, and I was raised that way, to have family dinners at home. So that is something special to us. Um,
Now, do you think you and your sister were a little bit more rivalry because your dad traveled so much and it was kind of like
it was just us at
it was
home.
just you guys, and because you were home so much, like your kids didn't have to like fight for your attention necessarily? Maybe in the back of their mind it's kind of like, I don't have to be as competitive because mom and dad are around all the time. I mean,
Yeah,
does
there's
that
some
make
of that.
sense?
Yeah, absolutely. I think there is some of that, and there's also some of my they're just homebodies. My kids. I remember coming home from work, and I mean from school, and grabbing my bike, and me and my sister would just go out. We'd
Come
just
home when
go
the
out.
lights are on.
Yeah, exactly. So we were on the streets, and one of our neighbors had a basketball court. We'd go play there. So we were out all the time. Um, you know, uh, with my son, he's an amazing student, but he's playing his video games all day. I mean, like, he's in his room playing video games, and I can't say anything because the guy's a straight A student. So it's like I can't take away his gaming if he's doing really well at school. Um, so it's different. I think they're more homebodies versus what we were. And I do think that dad not being around, we kind of were at each other's throats, and fighting all the time, and being very competitive. So yeah, there is something to be said about that.
And as a 40-year-old, I turned 40 in a couple of weeks. As a 40-year-old, I still play video games. There's nothing wrong with the game, especially if he's a straight A student. And I
Absolutely.
will tell you, I know a lot of military pilots, drone pilots, that literally fly with a controller.
Mm.
They're flying with like a PlayStation or Xbox controller. They wouldn't be where they are if they didn't know how to, if they weren't good at those. So like there's a lot that could be done with that. So I actually, applaud you for not being angry that he's
Mhm.
playing, because he seems to be getting his shit done and you're letting him play. So he works hard and you let him play just as hard.
Yeah.
That's awesome, because when I was a kid, I don't think we're too far different in age groups, but when I
Mhm.
was a kid, people thought we were all homeless because we were
Mhm.
never at home.
It's true.
On a Saturday, my mom would wake up and go, "Get the hell out of the house. I'll see you at dinner. If you come home before then, you better have a bloody knee or something that needs to be cleaned up." Like,
Yeah.
that's just how it was.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
now it's completely different.
Yeah, the rules were just come home before it's dark. That was it. uh,
Hmm.
you know and so yeah, I totally understand, I get it. And I guess the way life is now, I don't know if it was safer back then or what, but for some reason, that's just not how kids are nowadays. They're we always wanted to be with friends, and so I'd go ride my bike to my nearest friend's house. But now they put their headsets on and they're talking live like we are right now, and it feels like they're in the same room. So it's a different world.
It's a completely different world. And obviously, your kids have great work ethic. They're great students. They wouldn't have that without that work ethic ingrained to them. How are you making sure and drilling that work for what you get, work hard, play hard mentality into your kids, because that's a hard thing to do these days.
I agree. Yeah, and it's not so much that it's what we try to do; it's what we kind of are showing them at home. It's me, my wife, the way we interact with one another. It's it's we put in our hours at work. My wife is a professor at UC Irvine. She teaches literature, so it's and she's at home reading, writing all the time. So they see that work ethic into it in us. And I don't know if I've mentioned this, but I was an Ironman athlete as well.
Yes.
Uh, and so I was out training all the time, swimming, biking, running, and it's only natural for them to see that, and you don't really have to say much. If they see it enough, I think they're going to kind of pick up on it and hopefully learn a few things and lead their lives as working hard kids and have that kind of work ethic naturally just happen.
Now, have you caught your 15-year-old walking out with a box of cigars to a party, and like he's the guy that cuts lights everybody? Like, have you caught that yet? Because I know, I mean, I was selling singles, little statute of limitations is long past, so I don't mind. But I was selling loose cigarettes at his age in a park,
Oh,
smoking cigarettes.
I remember those 25 cents.
4 for $1.
There you go. He's such a good kid, Ryan. He's such a good kid to the point where we're like, please go out.
Please don't
Please,
do something bad.
please do something. you know?
Let me smell something on your breath. Like, come on.
Please. So I will say this past New Year's Eve, we made him take a shot of tequila, and the guy's face was just like, uh, oh, wait, statute of limitations, it has not passed. Oops. To the point where we're telling him like go ahead, please go out, please do something. So
Have you
he's just
offered
a
him a
kid.
cigar? Have you? Does he show interest in it?
No, not at
Really?
all, not at all.
Well, not yet. Not yet.
No.
And you know what though? The average cigar smoker comes in around 26 to 28 years old.
Oh yeah, I
So I
would.
mean, you still got a long ways.
Yeah, what I'm worried about now is vape. If he's vaping or anything like that, because that's easier to conceal. It doesn't smell, and so that's kind of where I would be at as far as worrying. I wouldn't worry. I wouldn't be worried about him smoking cigars. I don't even know if he knows how to even hold or light, if to cut it or whatnot. Um, he's really super
Sounds like
smart.
he's a straight A student. He figured it out himself, probably.
He really He's super smart in some ways, but then just kind of up in the air other ways. Like, for example, he threw like a bunch of paper towels in the toilet paper the other day, and it got clogged. Like, and he's like, "Oh, I didn't know," like, he's so
Oh
it's
my gosh. So okay, so we were I was probably 18, 17. We were in a hotel with my mom and dad, and I completely clogged the toilet. And in front of my mom and my dad and my sister, I called down to the front desk and was like, "Yeah, I need a plunger." My dad completely wrecked the toilet. And he's standing right there and he looks at me, he goes, "What the heck are you doing?" And my mom just starts busting up laughing. And I went down and I was like, "Yeah, I'm sorry. My dad doesn't know how to use the toilet." And so he goes, "They might make a note on my file or something like that."
it's amazing the things that they don't know, and you really gotta like really lay it out for them. So it's just him being a kid, and sometimes he's just spacey, with a teenage brain, and other times he surprises us with some like ridiculous knowledge of certain things. So yeah, that's where we're at.
So obviously, you're a very young man. You've got a long time in this industry left. Is your goal or plan, if in a perfect world, obviously you don't know where you're going to be at, you don't seem like the type of guy that's going to be to your son or daughter, you must be in this business. Where do you see the legacy handoff? Do you want it to be kept in the family?
I'm gonna be completely honest with you right now. Working with my dad the first 15 to 20 years was the most difficult time in my life. I wanted to have a father, not a partner. I wanted to, we have our Sunday barbecues, and he's asking me if I called this customer
It's
or if
business all the time.
yeah. And my dad is a workaholic. He really is, to a fault. And so I do not want that relationship with my son. And my wife has also seen, I've been married for 22 years, and my wife has also seen that part of me where it's kind of crushed me in ways, and where she's seen certain points of how me and my father have interacted. Now, granted, the last 10 years has been great. He's kind of taken a step back and let me kind of run with the company. But it was challenging for a very long time. It was really challenging to the point where I wanted a father, not a, like I said, a business partner. So I don't want that relationship with my son. I want him to be able to do what he did. This business was almost forced onto me. And when I say that, it was I was 18. My first trip to DR was 18. I was like a kid in a candy store, like, what? I can drink beer at 18 here? Like, it's allowed. I can even smoke. I love this. This is a great industry. So I often think, if this business wasn't handed to me at an early age, where I would be in life, what path would I have taken? Because I have a lot of passions in life, including cooking. I did go to culinary school,
Yep.
and I love the cooking process. I love the chaos in the kitchen, and then the final product of a beautiful piece of art sitting in front of you as a dish. I my taste buds are very active. I have a good sense of smells, good sense of taste, and I can put flavor profiles together, and that leads to blending cigars as well. So I often think about that, where I would be in life. So I don't want to kind of force things upon my son. I want him to kind of find out what he's going to be uh, doing with his life, if there are any paths. Now, I will say, I want him to finish his university, get a degree, and not just for the education. I want him to be immersed in that life. I want him to enjoy the university life with no real pressures of work, just studies, and enjoy having friends, maybe for life, having the relationships that he can cultivate throughout the years, and the diversity that the school will bring, the different mentalities, be it political or religious or just ethnicity, even. Um, and so I think that brings a lot of value in the way he's going to deal with people in the future. And, after that, I want him to be working some kind of craft for 5 years after his studies are over. Now, at that point, after that, if I'm still in the industry and he says, Dad, I have my law degree and I'm burned out from law. I want to do law. I love the industry you're in. And if he brings his knowledge of law and or whatever, accounting or economics or whatever he studied in, because he does want to do something in the business world, and if that's his choice, I will go ahead and be like, yes, sure, let's bring you on. Let's see what you can do, help the company grow. Um,
Now, Rook, would you start him sweeping floors? And I say that visually, as in start him at the bottom to work himself up instead of silver spoon in his mouth type deal.
Answering phones,
Yeah.
customer
Yeah. Oh
relationships,
yeah. Like you're cleaning the toilets. Like you're starting at the bottom so you could appreciate the top.
data entry,
Yeah.
uh, filing
I don't care
invoices.
what degree you have.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And you know what? That's how I started. I mean, I did everything. And when you do those things, then you can understand the people who do that, and you can have respect for them.
Oh yeah.
So we definitely have him starting from the ground up. Yes, he's not going to come in and be vice president of the company.
Yeah, without naming who this is, one of the very famous roller blender, and I got an opportunity to spend a lot of time with. He was telling me his story and his first day at the factory, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm going to be rolling." And the factory owner brought him in. He goes, "I totally don't want you here. I have 20 people that know more than you, will know more than you, and will always know more than you. I don't understand why I'm supposed to teach you to be a blender, but here's the fucking broom, start sweeping." And for a year, he swept the floor. Never rolled a cigar until 6 years in.
Wow, wow,
And
and
now he's one of the most known, prolific rollers. Like, like you would be shocked if I told you actually who it was. And you're like, really? Yep, 6 years before he touched tobacco. Because of that, you've got to learn everything.
Yeah, and also being around everybody on a day-to-day basis, you understand how the factory operates, and you're there. You're making friends with the people there, and of course, you're picking up a few things here and there. You're not just sweeping; you're learning.
No, absolutely. And so, what about picture a 17, 18-year-old you? All right, you're handing your dad the very first Espanola.
It was a Davidoff.
What would very first? What would you? No. I'm thinking Espanola. Like as a 17-year-old, you're handing your dad the very first Espanola. Okay, if you could go back, what would the kid in you think of you running the show now? Meaning, at 17, you're running the show now. You give your dad like, what would that 17-year-old you looking forward in time to you now, going, wow, you're actually running the show?
Yes.
Like, did you expect that at 17, 18?
No. What I expected was I'm just helping my dad out, working for my dad until I went got my school degrees and then figured out my own thing. But 2 years into community college, I was like, why am I even going to school? We've got a successful business. So I drop out of school. I'm working full time for my dad, basically at that point, answering phone calls. I'm in the shipping room, packing boxes, orders, and then I met my wife. I met my wife, who's on a fast track at UCLA, getting her PhD, and she asks me if I'm, going to school or not. Not even asking me if I'm going to school, but she's saying, "Where are you going to school?" And I told her, "Well, I'm kind of not right now." And I immediately saw the ache in her face, and she was like, "You're not okay," and so I made it a point for me to kind of go get my degree and impress my wife while I was helping out my dad. And for me, that was it. I was just going to get my business degree and seeing where my future was. I really didn't think I was going to be where I am today. But after taking marketing at the University of Southern California and learning a few things, I was able to bring a lot to the table, and implementing a lot of the marketing strategies that I had picked up at school. And I was like, this is fun. This is fun. I'm having fun with this. Not really knowing much about the cigars and the product, but just applying what I learned in marketing. It could have been anything. Color schemes, and this is one of the things that the reasons why one of our boxes of JMs is yellow is from a case study that I did at USC. So
The one right behind you, actually.
yeah, this one, that one, yeah. So yeah, that was a DeWalt case study of DeWalt power tools. So I think that I didn't envision this. I didn't envision 30 years in the industry. Looking back, it would be like almost like my son, who's 15 right now, and thinking of him as the president of a company at 45 years old, 47 years old, or whatever. So it's really interesting. It's life has many surprises, and I'm very grateful for everybody around me, my family, my friends. And I'm just, yeah, it's kind of getting emotional, but thinking about 30 years in this business and where we are now from where we started, it's something incredible,
Well,
Ryan.
let's think about 30 years and how many times you want to quit. And not quit because it was too hard, just quit out of frustration.
It,
And so like
many times.
at what age did you decide you were in this full time? Like I'm here. I'm done. I'm here.
Yeah. So it was 2006. Um, the business was
So
run
you
as
were
a
still in
sole.
your you were still in your 20s.
Yeah, this business was a sole proprietorship
Mm-hmm.
up until 2006, and when I when I was really serious about everything, we turned it into a corporation, and I was the sole owner of the corporation in 2006, and I hit the ground running ever since.
And it's been a lot of fun with you as playing chef over the last few years, and you put out an amazing cigar with the Year of the Dragon. So coming up here into the close, just ask some fun questions here. You're out there in Hollywood land.
Let's go.
You're out there in Hollywood land. If Española or JM Tobacco was made into a movie, who do you see playing you?
Oof, me.
Hmm.
Hmm. Ah, very good question. Uh, I don't know. I think Ryan Gosling would be great. Uh,
I could see that. I could see that. I could see. Which celebrity, dead or alive, would you like to smoke an Espanola with, and which Espanola would you choose?
wow. For me, presidents come to mind. So, you know, going back to Bill Clinton and his cigar smoking days up to with Obama, I think it would be very interesting to smoke a cigar with President Obama.
Interesting. Okay. Have let's see here. Outside of cigars, what is your guilty pleasure? Meaning something you wouldn't admit to while holding an Espanola.
Oh, does like late night eating count?
Yes, yeah, your guilty pleasure. Hey, if I stood up, you'd be like, "Yeah, you're a late night eater." So I totally get that, man. Absolutely, absolutely. What is your obviously your favorite Espanola today is the Year of the Dragon. You had already said that. Are you coffee or whiskey?
So I kind of gave up coffee 5 years ago. I don't drink much. I'll have it once in a while. Uh, but being Middle Eastern and Armenian, we drink a lot of whiskey. So
Okay.
whiskey over coffee.
If you ever do coffee again, you have to try the Nitro Cold Brew, the Nitro from Starbucks with your Connecticut. I
Ooh,
try every Connecticut with the nitro from Starbucks because it's the creamiest coffee you'll ever get. I get the vanilla sweet cream nitro, and I try it with every Connecticut I've ever smoked that I have in my humidor at home.
that's
And with your Connecticut, and that is fantastic.
okay. I'm gonna do it.
It's
I'm gonna do
really
it.
good, and it'll have you wired for the day too.
Nice.
What is your favorite time to smoke? Morning, afternoon, or night?
I'm a night guy, nighttime smoker for sure.
Are you heavier at the night, meaning more full body at night, or you'll smoke anything at night?
Anything at night.
Um, what is the first sale cigar memory for
Oh my gosh, Ryan, this is kind of traumatic.
you? Do
At
tell.
18 years old, I tried to go out on the road as a sales rep and walk into a Tinder box in Santa Monica. And I see, men in leather couches smoking cigars. And I and I walk up to the person behind the counter and just, ignorantly thinking that the guy is the owner of the shop, and I'm there saying, "Hey, this is our Española cigars. It comes in a coffin box. It's got this many sizes." And he asks me about, origin of tobacco, filler, what wrapper, binder, and I was like, it's Dominican cigar and it's good. Like I had no idea. And he was like, get out. So my first experience selling is not a good one. I was never good at it. And after visiting a few shops, I said, you know what, I'll be on the phones.
Well, you seem to have gotten a lot better at
Yeah.
it.
Yes.
What is one place in the world that you could go to, regardless of money, expense, time it took to get there, or how it took you to get there? Would you want to smoke a cigar, or would you want to smoke an Española? And my guess it would be Year of the Dragon, but you can correct me if I'm wrong. Where would you want to smoke that cigar? Anywhere in the world.
Uh, you know, Cuba comes to mind. I've never
Okay.
been. I've never been. I'd like to go and just, I guess, smoking a cigar in Cuba and having some rum sounds fantastic.
Cigar in hand, jazz, rock, or silence? Or what genre you want?
No, jazz.
Jazz? Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
no,
Like smooth jazz? Are we talking like Dizzy Gillespie, The Bird?
nothing hectic, nothing crazy.
Okay.
Definitely
Where do you get your best thinking done? In the office or at home?
neither in the car.
Yes, my man. As a traveling sales guy for many years, I've got more windshield chime than I can count. I
Man,
agree with you on that.
I sometimes try to decompress and listen to some audiobooks and podcasts and whatnot in the car, and I find myself like, oh shit, like I didn't even I can't remember what I was listening to because my brain is just going. My brain is just going. So in the car, I do a lot of thinking.
Snack with a smoke, sweet or savory?
Snack with a smoke. Hmm. They're both great. Um, I'm gonna have to say sweet.
Okay. What
Yeah.
is the time of night you will not light a cigar? Meaning, like for me, if it's like 2 o'clock in the afternoon and my job's done at 4:35, I won't light a cigar. It's just too late. What is your I won't light a cigar after or before period?
So I think that it all depends on the night. If we're hanging out till 2 a.m., uh, shoot,
So you
I don't.
really go with the situation more than the time.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
there are no restrictions with time. If it's okay, I will say I won't light a cigar 2 hours before bedtime or an hour before bedtime.
Okay. Just get you a little too worked up.
Too worked up, too much going on in the mouth and the smells to go to bed. I'd have to probably shower after that or something.
Does your wife smoke?
No.
No. She clearly doesn't mind that you do though.
So against it. I mean, she grew up in a household where her father smoked cigars all the time. Her mom smoked cigarettes, and so she's been around smoke her whole life, and she doesn't like it.
So do you
And
smoke in the car?
no,
No.
no, no.
Tobacco paid for the car, but you can't smoke in the car?
I don't like it. I
Okay.
don't. I like to be outside
Okay.
uh, more than inside. I'm an outside guy smoker.
Okay. When you go to a lounge, what is your biggest pet peeve?
Somebody who comes to the lounge with his own cigar.
Okay, and doesn't buy one from the brick and mortar.
Absolutely.
See, I don't. I will bring cigars, but I always buy at least one or two.
Yeah, that's great. Buy
I
a
might
couple.
not smoke those, but I always buy them.
Yeah, you're taking up a seat at the guy's store. The least you can do is buy some.
And you know what? Most people that have never worked retail or don't have a business don't understand that literally every square inch of a retail store has a dollar value.
Absolutely.
So how have you taken that understanding and adapted it to Espanola with humidor space?
Humidor space at the
Well,
warehouse or
no, no, in everyone's humidor, in every lounge owner's humidor, every value, everything takes cost to it. So how have you? Are you somebody that goes in and goes, you got to carry all of my line? Let me ask it differently. Are you somebody that says you gotta carry every line I have to get Year of the Dragon, or you can carry 1 or 2? How do you let people take that shelf space?
That's a great question. So a lot of the retail stores I've been to kind of operate differently. Some of them have their cubbies kind of set up where they
Mhm.
take cigars out of the box, they put it in the cubbies, and that's totally great. So years past, we've put out like a 12 wide cigar or a 10 wide cigar or even 5 coffin box. So we really understand the shelf space and how valuable it is. So uh, we don't tell them you have to carry the whole line. Uh, you know, First of all, we're in no position to be able to do that anyway. We're just happy that the customer is working with us in the beginning
Sure.
for first place.
Foot in the door is better than not in the store at all.
There you go. Yeah, absolutely. So wherever they do find space for our product, it's great. Hopefully eye level. But yeah, we don't really have to demand shelf space.
Let's see. Zoom out 30 years from you. Okay, this will be the last question of the night. Zoom out 30 years. Why does Espanola matter to the cigar world, and where do you want to leave it?
So zoom out 30 years. Uh, it almost means
I only say zoom out 30 years because you're building Espanola. So 30 years from now, as that brand is built up with dozens of lines and brands,
yeah,
why should the cigar world think Espanola matters?
yes. So Espanola matters because it was one of the brands that was introduced in 1996 when there was a revolution and there was a boom in the cigar market. We were one of the first companies out there with the Rocky Patels, the Drew Estates that had just started up. We were right there next to them at the trade shows. So I think that Española and the other companies I named really had a part in the boom of the industry in the mid 90s. And looking back, we'd like to be, kind of thought about as having something to do with that.
Well, I think anybody that looks at the lineage and history, I mean, you guys are a legacy brand. Whether anybody wants to believe it or not, you are. Legacy brand has been around, in my opinion, anything over really 15 years with a solid track record of sales and growth and expansion is a legacy brand.
Thank you.
And you guys have turned JM into a legacy brand, and you're going to be turning Espanola into a legacy brand. Now, granted, Espanola is a cigar brand that started in '94, but it's being revitalized and it's being reworked and it's being remastered, and
Yes.
that's really the defining opus of JM. And I see over the next decade, 20 years of you guys are not going to be known as JM Dominicans. Like this is going to allow you guys to be fully rebranded as Espanola, and then at some point in time, people are going to go, "Wait a second, they make a budget brand."
Yeah.
So like that's where I see this going, and I'm really grateful that you and I have become friends and partners in this, and you believed in the show. I believe in your brand very much. It's exceptional, and it's fun to kind of see that rejuvenation in you. It's kind of it's kid in the candy store effect again for you. It's new. Um, and I'm really excited to see you guys grow into this. And one last question: is it gonna stay red for the Year of the Dragon Corojo, or is it gonna change color?
No, it's going to be what you got right there is the Corojo, Española Corojo.
So it is exactly what it's because it was red for year, and I noticed that it didn't say year on this one,
No, it didn't.
but
No.
it's still red.
Yes, it'll have a secondary band with a 1996 Corojo on there.
Awesome, awesome. So here in closing, please tell everybody where to find you, how to find you, and my God, people, you're watching this show. do yourself a favor. Check out the Year of the Dragon. Check out their Connecticut, their Maduro. They are really good. They're shaped tips on the Connecticut and Maduro, but they're a shallow shaped tip and they're rolled really good. He sent me several of them. I did not have one that hadn't smoked right. I'm weary on shaped tips, but Espanola seems to have it down. So I don't know what you're waiting for. Definitely go out and find them. Please tell everybody how to find them and where to find the stores.
You got it. Thank you, Ryan. You can follow us at JM Tobacco on Instagram and Facebook. And also, if you can't find any Españolas at your local retailer, please ask for them and ask them to carry it.
Fantastic. This has been another episode here at the Smoking Studios of the Rocky Mountain Cigar Show. Thank you so much for everybody watching. This has been a great show. Thank you so much, Anto, for coming on. And for anybody, again, watching, what the fuck are you waiting for? Get online, buy their cigars. He doesn't curse, but I do. At least I haven't seen him yet, but forgive me. It's my favorite word in life. It's something I've got to deal with my kid to not repeat back. But I don't know what you guys are waiting for. Do yourself a favor. Jump out. Find yourself the Española Corojo or Year of the Dragon, depending on how you can find it and which way you can find it. And treat yourself to an exciting line that is a U.S. company and that has been one of the older U.S. companies that's been around for over 30 years. So do yourself a favor, treat yourself to the Española Corojo, aka Year of the Dragon, however you could find it. And until we see you again, smoke what you like, smoke as often as you can, and have a great rest of your week. Bye, everyone.